I am back from Los Angeles, so let's talk about some of the Devils selections from this year's draft. There's a lot to break down in today's episode of Locked On Devils. Buckle up, everybody.
You're Locked On Devils, your daily podcast on the New Jersey Devils, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi, this is Bryce Salvador, and you're Locked On Devils with Trey Matthews.
Scores! Oh, Steven stepped up, nailed it. Brodor's got the puck. What a shot. The Devils win the Stanley Cup.
Alrighty now, what is up, New Jersey? Welcome back to the Locked On Devils podcast here at the Locked On Network. I'm your host, college hockey play announcer, Devils Wire Pucks Pitchforks, and also part-time credential media member, Trey Matthews, back from the City of Angels after covering the NHL draft. I must admit, I am beat down and I'm a little on edge. Why is that? Well, I'll just say this. I love LA, but I do not love LAX. Here's why. You ever spent the night at an airport after your flight got canceled and you're trying to figure out the time zone shifts and all that? I would not recommend it. But I'm sure you guys don't want to hear about my travel stories and all that. What's on the agenda for today's episode? Well, we're going to talk about some of the more notable selections made by the Devils during the draft. I talked about it in the prior episode when I was recording it at the Peacock Theater. Conrad Fondrk, Ben Kevan, and Mason Moe, I think those are the three prospects to look out for in the future. Fondrk and Kevan, they went in the second round. Moe went in the third round. So for today's episode, we're going to play their media availabilities. Fondrk and Moe were not present at the draft, so they conducted their press conferences on Zoom with the rest of the Devils media. Kevan, in addition to doing a media availability at the draft, he also did a Zoom press conference. I did not have the chance to attend any of those press conferences because, as you guys know, I was actually in LA covering the draft. In the prior episode, I played the media availability that Kevan had during the draft, but I will play his Zoom press conference in this episode so you guys can get it from a different perspective. Let's begin with Fondrk. In the previous episode, I talked about his strengths. I also read the scouting report. If you missed it, here are the three key takeaways. He's a heavy shooter, he's a speedster, and he is classified as a two-way center. He stands 6 feet tall, so he's not the tallest guy out there. He weighs 203 pounds. He originally hails from Minnesota. Now, he was dealing with an injury this past season, so while playing for the United States developmental program, he appeared in 40 games. He had 13 goals, 14 assists for a grand total of 27 points. He is also committed to play at Boston University under head coach Jay Pandolfo. So that's something to definitely keep an eye out for because Pandolfo has done a great job of developing prospects, including Mike Yegorov, who I have high hopes for. But going back to Fondrk, he's definitely interesting, and I'm glad that the Devils are going to take a risk on him, take a flyer, because I think he definitely does have some potential. He was ranked number 45 by NHL Central Scouting when it came to North American skaters. I think he fell into the ballpark as to where he was supposed to be selected, and it just happened to be the Devils. Fondrk had the chance to speak with the Devils media shortly after being drafted. He was at his aunt's place in Minnesota. He was not in Los Angeles. Here's what he had to share.
Read that you had broken your leg or your big feeling. I want to know, how are you feeling? It looks like you're walking around, so you're doing all right.
No, I'm pretty functional, other than skating. Can pretty much, do everything else. It's been, really good healing for the past six weeks, a lot of progress from then. And
awesome.
I'm just getting excited to get
and
back.
then just your reaction to going to New Jersey, finding out you're drafted. Just what are your sort of initial thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, dream come true. Obviously, you know, I was probably best day of my life. Yeah, I mean, New Jersey's an awesome spot. You know, you're out on the East Coast, right next to New York and Manhattan. So, it's a great spot. I'm super excited.
What is your familiarity with the team, and maybe did you have any meetings with New Jersey's brass, and what sort of sense you got from them?
Yeah. I met with them. Yeah, I met with them at the combine, and then yeah, I'm not too familiar with the area. I went out to I played at Mount St. Charles for 2 years out in Rhode Island, so I'm a little bit familiar.
I was going to say more along the lines of the team.
Oh,
Don't worry about not knowing about New
yeah,
Jersey yet. You'll
yeah.
familiarize yourself.
I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, the Hughes brothers and stuff like that. I won't lie, didn't watch a ton of New Jersey hockey growing up, but I couldn't be more excited to be part of this team. So
Awesome, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. I don't have any other questions currently in the queue. If there's anyone else who wants to add a question. Okay, we'll go to Matt. I
go
got
ahead.
one. Yeah, I'll just go to Matt Blittner first, and we'll come back to you, Amanda. Go ahead, Matt.
All right, thanks. Hi, Conrad. Again, congratulations on being drafted by the Devils.
Thank you.
Just quickly, talk to us about your shot a little bit. We've heard from scouting reports that you've got a really lethal big shot. Just how do you feel that it will play at the higher levels as you progress?
Yeah, it's definitely one of my better strengths. Just my release and the power that I get on it, and just get it off my tape fast as I can and as hard as I can, as accurate as I can. And I think it'll translate definitely to the next level, and it'll be a huge huge skill set that I'll need to definitely utilize. So yeah, it's definitely one of my strengths.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. We'll go back to Amanda.
If you can just sort of familiarize us with sort of the type of play that you like to play and what you sort of see as your projection of where your growth wants to be as a player as you head into this next phase, going to university and playing there as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a playmaker. I'd say, I see the ice very well. Always looking for my teammates. I shoot the puck too, but I'd say playmaking is probably is how I would describe myself. And sorry, what was the back end of that question?
Well, just sort of how you see your own personal growth, like where you want to see your game go, and yeah, exactly how you want to grow there.
Yeah, I mean, going to BU, obviously great spot. We have a really good team coming in here, and yeah, I mean, I'm just focused on getting back, but I think on that team, I definitely I'm going to do as much as I can to contribute and use my assets to the best of my ability. And they're going to give me some opportunity, and it's just up to me to kind of capitalize on that.
What for you was it about the Terriers program that is interesting to you and the type of play that you have?
Yeah. I mean, the coaching staff is unbelievable. They're on me pretty fast, and I mean, I love all those guys. They're doing a really good job up there, and I think that they're gonna develop me really, really well. And I think that I'm gonna play right into the lineup there. Hopefully, up in the top lines. But and yeah, I'm just gonna kind of do me and contribute as much as I can. So.
I love that. And then lastly, who are you with and where are you right now when you found out about this?
So I'm at my aunt's house. She's got a place out here on Lake Minnetonka. So I'm just having a little, get together with people who've been with me along the way. So just having a good time out here. And last night I was at one of my buddies, Max Bennett. He owns a couple restaurants. So we went out there and just kind of had a little dinner with some of the guys. So it was a good time.
The draft doesn't really matter. He was undrafted.
Thank you, Amanda. Our next question will go to Christy Flannery of the Hockey News.
Hi, welcome to New Jersey.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering if you could tell us something about yourself that we can't find on your draft profile, what you like to do away from the rink, your personality, anything like that.
Yeah. Growing up in Minnesota, the lake's been a huge part of my life away from away from hockey, surfing. On Lake Minnetonka. My aunt's got a wake boats out here. I have a canoe, so me and my dad love to go out and fish. I love fishing; it's a great time. Golfing with the guys. Other than that, kind of just like to chill and be around my people and my family. And yeah, it's kind of all I do, to be honest.
All right. Well, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Your next question go to Bill Douglas of NHL.com.
Yeah, Thunderbirds last year. So
Congratulations on your draft.
Thank you.
The question that I have is, your mom's from Honduras.
Yep.
Have you been to Honduras? And there is a growing Latin American interest in hockey and a growing Latin American hockey community. Have you interfaced with them? Have you heard from them at all?
Not really. To be honest, no, I've never been to Honduras. Yeah, no, never been out there. I don't even know if my mom's been back recently, but it's I haven't not too involved in that community. So
gonna have a good team next year, and really want to win, so it'll be exciting. How about World Juniors?
Thank you, Bill. Our last question will go to Matt Blittner. Go ahead, Matt.
Thanks, Pete. Connor, just one last thing. You said you're from Minnesota, and with Minnesota being such a hotbed for NHL and hockey talent overall, have you gotten a chance to train with any current or former NHL players? And if so, who might you like to try to style your game after?
Yeah, I skated over the summer at Velocity last year, and a couple wild guys are out there. Boguson, Boldy, a couple others. Dumba, he doesn't play for a while now, but he did when I was growing up. So yeah, I mean I watched Wild a bunch, but I think I love watching Kaprizov and Boldy. They're such dynamic players and have so much talent, and I don't know if I exactly resemble their games, but I like to nitpick them and kind of try to bring it to my own. So
obviously, coming from the 2025 draft, Fondrk is the most touted player when it comes to the Devils selections. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him develop and what he could possibly do at Boston University. Also, keep in mind, another Devils prospect, Shane LaChance, who was the captain for the Terriers, is also in the system. So just wanted to put that out there. Now, before we continue with today's episode, let me tell you guys about FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. Whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet ride into the ninth inning, FanDuel makes me feel like I'm a part of the action and actually there. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Please remember to always gamble responsibly. Okay, like I said earlier in the show, Ben Kevan was the only Devils prospect to be in attendance in Los Angeles and conduct a live press conference. But he also did a Zoom press conference with the other Devils media. I already read the scouting report in the previous episode, but here are the three takeaways. He's a dangler, playmaker, speedster as well. He hails from Connecticut. He stands 6'1", weighs 179 pounds. He was ranked number 55 by NHL Central Scouting when it came to North American skaters. Here's what Kevan had to say to the media during his Zoom press conference. Take a listen.
Just your initial thoughts, what it was like to hear your name and kind of walk up there and be greeted by Kate Madigan and crew.
Yeah, it was such an unbelievable experience. I've been playing this game for a long time, and I've always dreamt of being drafted. And hearing my name get drafted by a team like New Jersey and a team that's, very, very coveted and a team that's going to be really good for a while, it was the best feeling in the world. I always try my best not to tear up and start breaking down right there on stage. But yeah, it's an unbelievable feeling.
And who do you have there with you?
I have, what do you mean? Oh, family.
Like family-wise. Yeah, family-wise.
My mom, dad, sister, and my billet mom, and then my grandparents.
It's so I like that you mentioned your billet mom because we often, talk about family members. How important has that relationship been to you, and why was it important for you to have her there with you?
Yeah, I knew right away that she had to be someone who was there with me. She was pretty much my mother for 2 years. Like, I know nothing will ever compete with the actual mother that birthed you, but she's as close as can be. And I couldn't have never been more thankful for what she's done for me and for the other kids I've lived with. And I knew that I had to have her here and have her share that moment with me and my family because she is at this point and she means the world to me.
You mentioned, the excitement of New Jersey. Clearly, you know a little something about the team. What does excite you fundamentally about the organization that you're joining into, and maybe some of your conversations you had with New Jersey?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is how good of a young core they have. I mean, I know both Hughes brothers are both fairly young, and those are two American guys that pretty much every American looks up to. I mean, don't let anybody tell you differently. Like, those are two of the highest talented guys. So I mean, I'm just really excited to be a part of it.
Thank you, Amanda. We'll go to Bill Douglas, NHL.com.
Oops. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Couple questions. First, I mean, playing for the national team, going to an organization that has players with the national team pedigree. How do you think that helps you?
I think it's going to help a lot. I think just having people who have shared the same experiences is going to be really big for me. And I think that's going to be a really easy way to, bond with people very quickly because at the end of the day, we've all shared the same experiences, even though I just went through it and maybe someone like Hughes has gone through it maybe quite a few years earlier. So I think it's really great.
Oh, and in terms of that legacy, I mean, you scored a pretty important goal. So you sort of come in there with a little bit of bragging rights, right?
I mean, a little bit. Of course, I would have wished it was a gold medal scoring goal, but I mean, any medal's a medal, so I'm still really excited. And yeah.
So, what's your timeline? I mean, where do you think you are in terms of being NHL ready? What more do you have to do?
I really just play it by ear. I know next year I'm going into Arizona State and starting my first year there, and I'm really excited. And that's what all my focus is on right now. But I'm going to be in touch with, of course, the GM and all the development coaches, and I'm really going to work with them and try to get myself as ready as possible, as soon as possible. But as of right now, I don't necessarily have a set in stone timeline. I really just want to play it by ear and play it year by year.
That's made it more playing internationally with Team Germany. This guy has gone to camps in each of the last.
Thank you, Bill. I'll open it up if we have any further questions. All right.
I'll go for it.
Oh, go ahead, Amanda.
Yeah, thanks. Just wondering if you can maybe elaborate more on and describe kind of the type of play and player you hope to be. And I know it's tough to say like NHL comparables, but maybe someone that you've specifically looked up to over your years growing up in hockey.
Yeah, I think I'm a really good, fast, high-paced, complementary player that's able to play off of a lot of high-end players. And I think a good comparable for me would be someone like Troy Terry. I think he's not necessarily looked at as a mega superstar, but he's always there, always putting up consistent, good number of points, and he's always a player that makes the players around him better, and that's what I plan on being.
All right, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll have one last one, actually, Ben, from Matt Blittner. Go ahead, Matt.
Thanks, Pete. Ben, congratulations on getting drafted. Just, with your connections through the national team, to the national program, have you at any point reached out to any alum of the national program, whether they play for the Devils or they play around the league, to help you prepare mentally for the potential jump to the next levels in the NHL?
I think I've skated with a few, and I've definitely talked to them about like what it takes and how hard it is. And I've gotten some really good feedback, and I'm just really excited to take what I've learned from them and go forward with it.
Can you give us an example of one of the things that you've learned from them?
Yeah, I've asked Brendan Brisson a few years back, just getting started, like how was it? Because that was I think a year or two after he got drafted, and he was finally starting to kind of make his way into the league, and so I was really thankful for him giving his time to me and helping me answer some of my questions.
Similar to Fondrk, Kevan was also dealing with an injury, so he didn't appear in that many games for the United States National Development Program. 13 games played, 2 goals, 1 assist for a grand total of 3 points. He is committed to play at Arizona State University under Greg Powers. As many of you know, that is my alma mater. So you know I'm going to be a big fan of Kevan when he steps foot on Tempe's campus at Mullet Arena. Here's the thing. ASU hockey, it has an interesting system. So I'm curious to see how Kevan develops under Greg Powers because he has a unique way of making sure that he gets the most out of everybody. Artem Schlein, he was able to thrive in his final year of college eligibility. Obviously, the Devils elected not to sign him to an entry level contract, but Schlein was one of the better performing players for the Sun Devils this past season. They had a really good year, their first time not being independent and actually being a part of a division. So I think Kevan is going to a good place. I'm just curious to see how Greg Powers and his system helps him out. ASU is going to be very interesting because Cullen Potter will be Kevan's teammate, and Potter was drafted in the first round by the Calgary Flames. He was actually the final pick in the first round. He slipped a little bit. ASU has produced a few NHL players. Some good examples are Joey Daccord with the Kraken and Josh Doan now with the Sabres, recently traded to Buffalo from Utah. Kevan, one of my favorite prospects, but I'm going to be biased, as you can see. All right, let's talk about a player that I didn't really get the chance to talk about in the previous episode, and that is Mason Moe, who was drafted in the 3rd round. He was ranked actually number 53 by NHL Central Scouting. Here's a scouting report. Always doing something, Moe consistently creates space by skating his routes, battling in front of the net, and colliding with the defensive line. With a cerebral defensive game, he pressures opponents into turnovers, pass-offs, and then relocates for the return pass. He is listed as a playmaker and a two-way center. It seems like the theme for the Devils this season was to draft more centers. I find that quite intriguing. Similar to Fondrk, Moe hails from Minnesota. He's committed to play at the University of Minnesota, so he's staying put. This past season with the Madison Capitals of the USHL, 51 games, 17 goals, 26 assists for a grand total of 43 points. Moe stands 6'2" and weighs 192 pounds. Despite going in the 3rd round and being the 90th overall selection, I believe Moe deserves to be in the conversation with Fondrk and Kevan when it comes to highly touted prospects that the Devils selected this season. Here's what Moe had to say during his Zoom media availability. He was not in Los Angeles. Take a listen.
How are you feeling right now? What kind of emotions kind of go through that moment of hearing your name?
Just a lot of excitement and built up emotion, obviously, and a little bit of relief just hearing your name called. It was a just super exciting, surreal feeling. So yeah, super grateful.
And where are you right now?
I'm at my house with my family, just outside. So
I love it. And I was sort of reading about you, and it seems like Minnesota is really in your blood in many, many ways, for your whole family, especially when it comes to sports. Can you tell me a little bit about like what, Minnesota has meant to you?
yeah, I mean, I kind of grew up going to the University of Minnesota hockey and football games. So a lot of family went there as well. So it was kind of always a dream to go there as a kid and, have the opportunity to go there for school. And I'm looking forward to playing there in the fall. So yeah, super grateful.
And what can you tell us about the type of player that you are and are really hoping to become as you come through this journey, as you develop into an NHL player?
Yeah, I think just winning compete's my biggest thing. I kind of, I love to win, hate losing, and I want to compete and do anything I can to help the team win. So kind of just improving my weaknesses as a player and becoming the player I want to be will kind of be my biggest focus throughout the year. So
Where does your, will to compete that way and your drive to want to win really come from for you?
yeah, I think it's just the inner mind, obviously wanting to win a championship and not wanting to lose and, doing everything you kind of can to win at the end of the day. So
Thanks very much, Mason.
yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Amanda. We'll open it up if anyone else has a question. We'll go to Christy Flannery of the Hockey News. Go ahead, Christy.
Hi, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I believe I read somewhere that you met with 12 teams during the combine. Were you surprised that New Jersey selected you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have any idea where I was going to go. So, yeah, I mean, a little bit surprised, but I'm super excited. So,
And is there a certain NHL player that you kind of model your game after?
I like to watch a lot of Matthew Boldy from the Minnesota Wild. Being from Minnesota, it's kind of easy to go to those games, and I like watching hockey more in person. So it's been easy to kind of watch him and try to pick up on some of his skills for sure.
And what's something that you could tell us about yourself that we can't find on your draft profile, whether it's hobbies you have or your personality, anything you like to do?
I'm liking to starting to get into pickleball actually a lot. So being outside and I like to take my buddies on and play with the family. So I've been getting into that recently.
Great sport to pick up. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Christy. We'll go to Daniel Amoya of the Hockey Writers.
Hey, Mason. Welcome to New Jersey. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Did you attend any NHL games as a kid? And if so, are there any memories that stick out from that?
Yeah, I went to Minnesota Wild versus versus the Oilers and saw McDavid's rookie season. That was kind of the probably most memorable game I went to. Just obviously seeing the superstar at that age, and I went to it with my dad. So super fun experience, and that one probably stuck out the most.
And also, the USHL playoffs went pretty well for you. What was the biggest lesson you took away from that time?
Yeah, I mean, obviously our season ended shorter than we wanted to, but I think it was just my teammates and I were coming together pretty well in playoffs, especially my line mate Riker Lee and I just started clicking well in playoffs, and couldn't quite get the job done, but made a good run. So,
thanks, Mason. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Next, we'll go to Matthew Blitner.
Hi, Mason. Congratulations on being drafted. Just according to your draft profile, you're a very advanced two-way game. Not just offensively gifted, but that your attention in terms of getting the puck back defensively. Just what do you attribute that to? Because most players don't come into that until they're a bit more older, until they've been in the league a little longer.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely my biggest focus going into the start of the junior experience, and playing at Madison Capitals a full year is kind of my biggest focus, was improving my overall game, and 200-foot game was a center especially. So, working with my coaches, went over a lot of film and ended up improving that. So, it worked out.
Is there one thing in particular that you were able to work on that allowed you to develop that way?
Yeah, I think it was just playing away from the puck, kind of being in the right spot. As a center, it's important to stay in the middle of the ice, whether you're in the D zone or the offensive zone. So, was watching film a lot and just kind of worked on that and kind of helped me get the puck back quicker.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. We'll go our final up to Amanda Stein. Go ahead, Amanda.
Mason, you mentioned Riker Lee earlier, and I know that you guys not just line mates, teammates, but quite close. What was it like to see him go in the first round? And maybe what was that relationship like for you, and how playing with him has really helped, evolve your own game?
Yeah, super happy for him. I wasn't surprised at all he went in the first round. We're really close and kind of went through all of our, interview processes and did everything together. So it was pretty special having a guy to do it with. But yeah, no, I mean, super, super happy for him, and grateful that I got to do it with another player on my team. So
in terms of playing with him, how did that sort of help you? And one of the things I read is that you guys really have this ability to push one another to get better.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest thing. I think we complement each other well, and in practice we were kind of, we were open with each other a lot, whether it was, stuff we need to work on, stuff we were doing well. And I think communication was our biggest thing, especially in games and practices. We just kind of communicated what was working and what wasn't, and I think that helped us in games especially. So,
all right, there you go. Fondrk, Kevan, and Moe. Those are the three main prospects that I think you should keep an eye out for in the future. I believe all three of them will be at development camp. and I'm excited to see what the future has in store for them. So for Fondrk and Kevan, they both played for the U.S. developmental program. Obviously, Jack Hughes also hails from that same team. I think it's going to be a great fit. And when you got Fondrk, who's committed to play for J. Pandolfo and BU, or Kevan at Arizona State, or Moe at Minnesota, I think good things are going to happen. But let me know your thoughts. What did you think of the Devils selections this season? Who are you high on? Is there a sleeper? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on podcast streaming service, hit me up on my personal X page app at TreyMatt4 or the show's X page app at Locked On Devils. As for today's episode, that's all the time I have for you. Continue to stay safe. Have a wonderful day, New Jersey. Go Devils. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for listening once again.